Hello and welcome to the Juniper SkyEnterprise webinar, December 2019. We'll give everyone another minute or so here to join. Hello everyone and welcome to the December 2019 Juniper SkyEnterprise webinar. Thank you for joining. I am Nick Norman, SkyEnterprise SE. So our agenda for today, we're going to do a little bit of an overview for those that have not joined before or have not used SkyEnterprise, talk about what it is. Then we're going to jump right into what is the new SRX Wi-Fi card, slide or two on what the new card looks like, how many clients it supports, radios, antennas, Juno's version, and those types of things. And then we'll go into SkyEnterprise support of that card, what SkyEnterprise provides, automatic detection, menu items, and things that show up once we've detected the card, features for the config, and monitoring. And then we'll go into some deployment options, talk about some enhancements we've done with ZTP as it relates to templates for SRXs that include that Wi-Fi card, as well as LTE and Wi-Fi. We're going to do a little bit of a live demo, show the Wi-Fi menus, clients connected, the type of thing. Then we've got some use cases. We'll go through some small branches, medical, distribution center type things, and even some pop-up type locations. And then we've got some ordering details at the end. Please, Q&A at the end, but if you have questions throughout, please go ahead and post them there in the chat. Myself and the team will get to them as best we can. All right, what is SkyEnterprise? Powerful cloud-based management for Juno's devices. SkyEnterprise delivers centralized visibility and control from the cloud. Really, the key is no Juno's experience needed. Don't have to be an expert at the CLI. It's SaaS delivered, so very easy to get going, very easy to set up. No professional service required to do that. It's got a very intuitive UI for configuration management and monitoring. Cloud-based zero touch provisioning to get those devices online as quickly as possible. SRX Wi-Fi support, as well as Juniper's Mist integration. SkyEnterprise supports the entire EX, SRX, VSRX, QFX, and the NFX line, all of those submodels, both new and legacy. And then we'll talk a little bit about some multi-tenancy, role-based access, one license for one device, even in a multi-tenancy scenario. All right, here we got some SkyEnterprise business use cases, just kind of some general guidelines or talking points around some of the customers that we have connected to the platform. Definitely retail, where it's a distributed enterprise, lots of little locations all around the globe. The single IT admin, definitely low CapEx, OpEx sensitive. Also can support secure router. Some site like this would be 1 to 3 switches or devices per site. A lot of these customers have a cloud preference. They are sensitive, to cost savings measures, and from an IT perspective, the ability to do things across multiple devices. the simpler we can make that. Small to medium enterprise, so 500, less than 500 employees or something of that nature, limited IT staff, a couple of firewalls, maybe a larger site, and then 5 to 30 switches or so, and then state, local education, K through 12, local government offices. Very similar to the small to medium enterprise, a couple of medium-sized firewalls, 30 to 40 switches. Some other examples here would be talk about the average number of managed devices that we have per customer is roughly around 50. Definitely some smaller customers, and we have some that are much larger. Talk about the larger customers, we have some customers. One example would be 3,000 devices connect across 900 sites. One of our large customers there. Let's get right into it. Here is the kind of a visualization there of the SRX Wi-Fi mPIM card. So it is a mini PIM form factor. Some of the devices it's supported on would be the SRX 320, the 340, 345, and the 550M. This is configured via Junos and Sky Enterprise, which is what we're going to talk about today. It's not a MIST module. It does require Junos 19.4 or above on SRX, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz radios. It supports up to 64 clients. This is a brand new card that was just announced, available for order now. And on the Sky Enterprise side, what we provide is automatic detection of SRXs that have the mPIM card installed. When it's detected, Sky Enterprise will automatically show the Wi-Fi menus for managing that card, setting up SSIDs and seeing connected clients. We enable the configuration of access SSIDs, access the APs, the virtual APs, radios, etc. Sky Enterprise provides visibility of the APs and the clients, as I mentioned, and the SRX card runs in Junos, not currently managed by MIST. Kind of a little screenshot there of our configuration of an SSID and the radio we're going to bind that to. So kind of enhance that a little bit more, talk about the LTE card that's been out for quite some time for the SRX. So here we have a kind of a branch-in-a-box solution. Slot 1 is the default slot for that LTE card, and slot 2 is the default slot for the Wi-Fi mini PIM card. This branch-in-a-box solution provides a complete secure gateway solution for Wi-Fi enabled small sites, when an LTE card to provide 4G internet access and a Wi-Fi card to provide local Wi-Fi access to clients. The SRX can be used as a single device for all networking needs. With the LTE card installed in slot 1, the SRX will automatically detect it, boot up, and can perform Cloud ZTP over the 4G connection. So there's a bunch of default profiles that are built into the SRX, and when the device comes online, it can phone home automatically to Sky Enterprise and pull down a configuration. Also works over the physical ports as well. So I just wanted to kind of talk about the LTE though. Sky Enterprise will detect that the SRX has a Wi-Fi card installed and automatically add the Wi-Fi configuration menu option within the SRX UI. And if you had configured that, as part of your ZTP config, when that device connects, we pull in that config, we read it in real time. So if through ZTP you configured the SSIDs, we'll show those as soon as that device connects to Sky Enterprise, then after the ZTP process is finished. So here we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like, branch-in-a-box. So we've got some type of SRX, a 320, 340, the Wi-Fi card, the LTE card, and Sky Enterprise. So all those things together equal the branch-in-a-box. Go into a little bit more deployment options. So cloud-based zero touch provisioning, devices shipping today with this are the EX platform, newer models of the EXs, SRXs, 300s, newer models of those, and the NFX devices have been shipping with cloud-based zero touch provisioning for a long time. That device is delivered directly to the site. It phones home, identifies itself, using the serial number. Administrator authorizes it, a little bit of a security check there. And then that device pulls down a configuration based on that template. That can be, as simple as using a template from our GitHub repo, or very complex. You have this option when you create the device in Sky Enterprise to check a ZTP box, and then pick your template. So it definitely speeds up rollouts of devices, and no needed to roll trucks or pro services for engineers to go on site type of thing. As I mentioned, a little screenshot here of our GitHub repo. So we've got zero touch provisioning templates out there, new templates with the Wi-Fi SSID configuration, basic templates with just enough information to get the device connected to Sky Enterprise and online, and new template also with the SRX Wi-Fi and LTE as well. And then there's also bulk update templates out there for different types of common things. Here we've got a little bit of a screenshot. You can see what, we're looking at the Wi-Fi tab, and this is a SRX Wi-Fi, so we can see here the SSIDs that are configured, some of the associated, the device that's associated with that SSID, the radios, the mode that's in, channels, and what type of security's been configured, as well as the VLAN associated to that. And you can see there, very similar to the way Sky Enterprise displays our integration with Mist. You can see the active clients then, and then at the bottom there is the client list. So you can see the MAC address, the IP address of the client connected, RX and TX. So some great information there. So some of the steps to kind of get to this point would be, you install that mPIM into the SRX, power it on, either connect it to Sky Enterprise using ZTP or even in a manual process, because again we read that config in real time. So we'll identify that this is a device that has the Wi-Fi card, and if this config exists, we'll display what config is there, or give you the option through our menu graphic-driven ways to configure that. All right, we'll go into a live demonstration here. Yeah, we'll take a little break from slides here. We're logged into Sky Enterprise, and you can see I've loaded up the kind of main Wi-Fi tab here. So I'm in the home, and then Wi-Fi all the way on the right. This tab shows up because we have a SRX 320 with the Wi-Fi mPIM connected. And you can see that device here, associated device, so the SRX 320 Wi-Fi. That's the name of the device. And some other information about the SSIDs. See a couple of different SSIDs here, test and guest, and different radios, so 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, different SSIDs bound to those. Parent AP, the mode, channel bandwidth, and then the security, as well as the VLAN. And then we see the associated clients, and we can see that a client down below, the SSID that's connected to the associated device, radio ID, TX and RX information. And we're seeing one device here. If you have multiple SRXs connected, you would see just an additional listing of those SRXs, and the associated device would reflect the correct device that SSID is bound to, and then you'd see those clients across all those different devices down below. So you'd be able to see all your clients connected on your SRX Wi-Fi across all the devices that you have connected to Sky Enterprise. And then, as you can see at the top there, right, the Mist Wi-Fi integration tab. So we could click over to that as well. So these work in conjunction. So maybe you have larger offices where you have the Mist Wi-Fi set up, and we have our kind of visibility into that. You can see those different clients connected there, and we'll kind of navigate back to our devices page. So here I have a filter in my search box, SRX3. I just wanted to kind of show, we've got some other SRXs connected that do not have the SRX Wi-Fi mPIM. These are SRX 300, so you couldn't put the card in those, but you can see here that they don't reflect that new Wi-Fi logo. And if I hover on that, you see there, the little display SRX Wi-Fi mPIM installed. So, in this instance, we've connected a SRX 320 that had the card installed in it. Sky Enterprise detected that the card was installed and shows this new icon, as well as, we get this new Wi-Fi tab up here to show us across multiple devices. And then on the action menu next to the device, we get a new Wi-Fi action. So as I click on that, it takes us to the interfaces page, and we have a new tab on the interfaces page. It's just kind of a quick link to the Wi-Fi section of that. But here, some details. We already saw the connected client on that main page. This is a device-specific view, so we're just seeing connected clients here on this device. So if we had another device that we were using this view, we would just see those connected clients versus the bigger picture Wi-Fi tab there, which shows all the clients in one place. And we can see our SSIDs here. Can set up a new parent AP, so I could select, the country code, the interface that I want to bind that to, and give it a name. We've already got one set up, so I could delete that parent AP here, edit it, edit the radios. But we're pulling in some of the the information that was set up on that parent AP. You can also do a new virtual AP. So if I click on that, give it an SSID. Maybe I want to do a test SSID or something of that nature. I can bind a VLAN to that, give it a description, pick my radios from the list, some of the advanced settings here, maximum stations, station isolation, I can turn that on. If I want to hide or do hidden SSIDs, I don't want to turn on no broadcast. Set a download upload limit, and then we can do a MAC filter list, permit and deny MACs addresses there. And then just to point out that, depending on what I pick here out of the auth options, I get different elements. So WPA personal, I put my key in there, ASCII or hex, pick my cipher suite out of the list. And then if I pick enterprise, I get some different options there that I can, set up that configuration. And again, this, I navigated to this device, and this device already has an SSID wireless LAN configuration. So, Sky Enterprise automatically pulled this in versus, if this was a net new device with no config on it, we wouldn't, we would just see this new parent AP, and then we could step through setting that up. I can also go in and edit these virtual APs that are already set up. And then along the same lines, talking about getting a device set up, we have ZTP templates that are being added out to GitHub, and then we also have bulk updates that are added out on GitHub. So let's kind of go through that process. So here I've got my Sky Enterprise GitHub. I was on the bulk update section there, but go ahead and click bulk updates, and then we've got this SRX Wi-Fi variables set. So I've got a couple other bulk updates, but this is one we were kind of interested in here today. So a little information, right? It's a Juno set. It's going to create a couple of two WLANs interfaces based on input from the user, the admin, and the default key is going to be Juniper 1 on these. So if I go ahead and copy this, navigate back to Sky Enterprise, up in configuration, and then I'm going to go to bulk update templates. I'm going to create a new template. I'm going to call this WLAN. It is set commands, and I'm going to paste these in here. I don't need these. Don't need these comments. Get rid of those. And the comments at the top. Go ahead and save this. Again, anything with variables, these double brackets becomes a variable. So you can see here, for instance, this VLAN 1 it's only going to ask me to fill that out once, and it's going to put that through the config in multiple places, but allows a more efficient way to get configuration entered. So if I wanted to deploy this to a device, I could schedule this update to happen in the future. So maybe I wanted it to happen, on the 17th at 0600 hours. I picked 5:30 there, 0600. And then here I'm going to look for that Wi-Fi device. So I'm going to just do a search Wi-Fi. Go ahead and add that in. And I want to pick advanced. I like to look at the table view, but we're going to pick that new WLAN template out of the list. And here's my variables then that I can fill out. So if I had multiple devices that I was deploying this across, I could add those to the list. So for instance, if I had one of these other SRXs that supported that, I could add that into the list and deploy that across multiple devices. But so then I would just fill out, maybe my VLAN, first VLAN is going to be 10, my second VLAN is going to be 20. And, oh, sorry, this is the IP address, so I want to do 10.10.10.1/24. And this one would be the 10.10.20.1/24 would be my IP addresses I want to set up. Maybe my country code is Great Britain. This is in Great Britain. And then my SSID 1, maybe I want that to be test 1. SSID number 2 is going to be test 2, or maybe I'd call it test 10 and 20 based on the VLAN on numbers. And then once I've got that filled out, you'll notice my update button goes blue, so I can click update. I'm going to deploy that to the device then. It gives me a report that I could download or view in Sky Enterprise. It tells me whether it was successful or not, and the commands that it ran. Will show those commands in that report as well, and also fires that out as I get an email when the job completes. Okay, just a couple other things to look at here. can see that this device does also have the LTE card installed here by the interfaces page. I have two-factor enabled, so I'm able to use that Juno CLI. And I can just take a look here, show chassis hardware. If I needed to copy in and out of this window, I can do so. I can see here the LTE is installed in FPC1 and the new wireless mPIM is installed in FPC2. Go through a couple of use cases. So here we've got a very common retail use case that we see. Multiple remote sites. Maybe they don't have a large staff, 2 to 4 folks, and they want to do some type of guest Wi-Fi. Maybe they have a point of sale type of solution here. The legacy way of doing this, banging away at the command line, some type of remote access. These can be challenges to coordinating all these things together to get that device, those devices up if they're remote, or then double shipping to get it to the engineer that's setting these things up. Highly skilled staff, or types of costly on-site deployments where that engineer has to visit a bunch of different sites. And with Skyenterprise, ZTP, Cloud ZTP, and LTE modems and things of that nature, right? This new retail is very agile and can get that device online in a quick manner. This kind of cloud-managed SRX Wi-Fi LTE all-in-one. Very reliable remote access with Skyenterprise, even the ability to give remote CLI access to that device, empowering that team to get things done in a short amount of time. Simple fleet management using templates and bulk updates. So once that device is connected, right, we can bring it into compliance using our security policy templates or using our bulk update tool to bring it in compliance with the rest of our devices in the network. Another use case here would be, a little larger, small branch, where we're using things like, maybe a few more employees at that site. We're using Wi-Fi, maybe hybrid WAN, and there's no, in this scenario, there's no local IT team. So the kind of legacy of this, same kind of thing, remotely getting devices connected, multiple devices to deploy and manage, multiple interface portals, unreliable remote access or visit, site visits. It requires a higher skilled staff person to configure this. So in the new kind of branch, we're leveraging those things like cloud-based ZTP, the ability to bring up a single device that has LTE as well as maybe some broadband that's physically connected, Ethernet services, using Skyenterprise with our custom SD-WAN functionality to be able to steer traffic based on app ID. So that and that's very flexible, right? So that custom SD-WAN I can steer my internet-based traffic out one. Maybe my broadband connection I'm using to offload streaming services, audio, video type of thing. Maybe my LTE I'm using for more corporate type traffic, O365 or something of that nature. Can also use that app steering over IPsec tunnels, right? The underlay is not super important to Skyenterprise, so maybe that underlay is IPsec. As well as broadband direct out to the internet. So then over those tunnels, I could steer SIP traffic or maybe some on-prem type of exchange or something of that nature across different tunnels, riding on these different links, and then through our RPM probes, provide automatic failover, right? If there's a link fault or something of that nature. So in this deployment, we also have reliable remote access and a single management portal. Another use case here would be a temporary site, short term, where you're standing up. This would be something like a construction site, conference booth, pop-up type things, disaster recovery, emergency type of situations. So you can do, very similar where you're standing it up using ZTP, cloud-based ZTP with Skyenterprise, deploying it from a template. You have very rapid remote provisioning, and here you've got, you can essentially with the LTE take that anywhere you have coverage and then offer clients up to 2.45 gigahertz through that new Wi-Fi mPIM. Okay, let's talk about ordering. and then we'll go into some trial accounts with Sky Enterprise. So on the ordering side, the new product labels there, you'll see that's very consistent, right? SRX-MP-W LAN and then based on where you are or where this device is going to be deployed, got the US, the WW for worldwide, or the Israel model. Again, this card's supported on the 320, 340, 345 models, the 550M, and then we've got that LTE. So very similar naming convention there, SRX-MP-LTE, and we've got the Asia and Australia model as well as the Americas and EMA model. Also supported on the very same SRX devices there. And then talk about Sky Enterprise licensing a little bit. So here we've kind of showing those EXs and QFXs. Something just to point out here is that the QFXs right there, all models are Group C. So a device maps to a group, and then that license is needed in Sky Enterprise. So great benefit here is that maybe you have an EX2200 today and you're going to buy a Group A license for a year, and 3 to 6 months now you replace that with a 2300. That's the same license. You don't need to purchase a new one on the 2300. You have another 6 months to use that 2300 in Sky Enterprise and decommission the 2200. So that 2300 replaces the 22 in that scenario, right? So you have one device connected to Sky Enterprise, and the 2200 got replaced with the 23. Same thing on the SRX side. Maybe you had some legacy SRX 210s. You're going to put those in Sky Enterprise and then replace that with an SRX 300. And in the near term, that license can just convert over, or one Group A device. You just need one Group A license. VSRX also Group A, and then NFX is down at the bottom, so 150 and 250 there. And then kind of an example, what that branch-in-a-box bill of materials looks like. So we've got the SRX 320 there at the top, and then we've got a support license, and then we've got some type of next-day hardware support. And then we've got this Sky Enterprise Cloud Management license for 1 year. So that's a Group A device. So there's the license there on one. We also offer a 3 and a 5 year license that you can put on that device. And then we've got the Wi-Fi card and the LTE card to complete out that LTE. Keep in mind that Sky Enterprise Group A license does include JTAC support of your Sky Enterprise. So if you needed to call JTAC and ask them questions about Sky Enterprise, that's included as part of that license, the 1, the 3, or the 5 year. And just kind of park here on the FAQ page, kind of talk through a couple of these common questions. Does Zero Touch provisioning deployment work with the Wi-Fi mini-PIM? And absolutely it does. That device can call home or cloud-based ZTP to Sky Enterprise. And we've got some Sky Enterprise templates out there in the repo on GitHub. Are there additional licenses required for Sky Enterprise to manage the Wi-Fi mini PIMs? And the answer is no additional licensing is required. This functionality has been added to Sky Enterprise, so your device is licensed in there. If you add the card to it, that configuration item will just show up, no additional cost. Can the Wi-Fi mini PIM be used along with the LTE PIM? Absolutely. So, great question there. You can definitely have those cards both installed. A couple slides back there, we talked about the kind of the default slots that that you should have those cards installed in. So definitely want to keep that in mind and get those cards installed across those. And either card can be used independently, absolutely. So you don't have to have the LTE to use the Wi-Fi, and you don't have to have the Wi-Fi to use the LTE. You could have one or the other or both. And as always, we have Sky Enterprise trials, partner trial accounts. Please come to juniper.net/try, sign up for your Sky Enterprise trial. Or for Juniper SEs, please email your request over to skyent-trial@juniper.net. And thank you everyone for your time and joining the webinar. We'll go ahead and hold here for a little bit and see if we've got all of our questions answered.